and welcome back to the UniLife podcast. My name is Leif Sarhag, and I will be your host for today's episode. Today's episode, we're going to be joined by 3 different first-year university students, Finn, Holly, and Emma, and they're going to tell you a little bit about their experience so far.
Cool.
Hi everyone, how are we all doing?
I'm
Good.
doing great.
How about you?
Pretty good. Okay, we're gonna start by everyone introducing themselves. So I want you to say your name, the university and program you're attending, and if you're attending from home, in residence in the province, and in residence out of the province. So Emma, you can go first.
Okay, my name's Emma. I am attending Queen's University and I'm majoring in environmental studies and I am learning from home.
My name's Holly Steep and I go to McGill University and I'm in the Faculty of Arts and I'm studying economics and sociology and I'm in res on campus outside of province.
Yeah, so I'm Finn. I'm at University of Guelph. I'm currently studying water resources engineering and I'm in residence in province.
Okay, amazing. So this question is for everyone. So I want to know, how did you guys decide on the program, along with how come you chose the university that you're attending? And were there any other programs or universities you were looking at, and why did you end up not choosing them?
I originally wanted to go into engineering, into chemical engineering. I didn't have a great experience in science in high school. So I ended up deciding that I wanted to do a Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies because it kind of combined both like the environmental activism that I was really passionate about and have been throughout my whole life, and also sciences. So it kind of combined the two most important things to me personally and things that I want to pursue later for like career-wise. And I think that's kind of what led me to choose environmental science. But I chose Queen's because I kind of had it in my head since starting high school that that's where I wanted to go to. I was also considering McGill, but I got accepted to Queen's right away, but because they have different admission deadlines. So I'd already been accepted to Queen's, and I will be honest, I got lazy and just didn't apply to McGill. But yeah, I haven't been to Queen's yet, like the campus. I've been once like 4 years ago, but I think all in all, it's a great school.
Yeah, so I decided to go to McGill because for the Bachelor of Arts, it was definitely the best school that I had gone into for that program. And I think, well, aside from U of T, but they're pretty similar, and I kind of wanted to like move away from home. And I think that I wanted to do just general arts because I still don't have any idea what I want to do. And I think that in high school, they didn't really go into too much depth about specific courses like economics or political science and things like that. So I wanted to learn more about those general topics when going there, and I was definitely considering Queen's as well. But I think that once I got into McGill, their deadline was like a month before for like giving your answer, like accepting or rejecting or whatever. So I kind of wanted to just like settle with my decision. So that's kind of like why I just chose McGill a little bit earlier. And yeah, I love being in a city as well. So that was like a big factor. Yeah, but I love Queen's as well. It was really close actually, because I love Kingston. It's super nice. But yeah, I think just for general arts, I wanted to go to McGill.
Yeah, so originally I did want to go into marine biology because that's a little bit more like, I guess, towards my passions. And kind of in the end, I applied for water resources engineering kind of on a whim because I needed another school to apply to in Ontario. And then I did some more research and realized marine biology maybe wasn't the best career path to take. So I decided to go into water resources engineering. But now I'm trying to switch out because I found engineering incredibly difficult. And then, yeah, I mean, Guelph was the only school that actually offered water resources engineering. So that's kind of why I ended up going here. Well, I guess Arizona offers it, but I wanted to stay in Canada.
For sure. Yeah, those are all really interesting. So for Finn and Holly, you guys are both in residence. Can you guys explain what your layout looks like and if you maybe have any roommates?
Yeah, so the residence that I stay in at McGill is called New Residence, and it's actually an old hotel. Like it used to be a hotel before McGill bought it. So the rooms are actually quite nice. It's like most of the rooms are double. So you walk in, there's like two double beds. It's very nice, and each room has their own bathroom, which is super nice. The communal bathrooms were a little much for me to swallow, so
Yeah.
happy about that. And I had a roommate for a semester, and she was like supposed to be my roommate throughout all of first year, but she actually deferred the semester just because of like COVID and
Yeah.
online school, and like like the fees don't really like decrease for online school. So she was like, I'm just gonna defer and like
Mhm.
work and like, try other things.
Yeah.
So she decided to defer. So I actually have like a double room to myself right now. And it's like actually really nice. It's
Oh
pretty
my
big.
gosh.
And yeah, there's like two beds. So one's kind of like a couch. I
That's
like it a
so
lot.
funny. That's so nice though.
Yeah.
Okay. Finn?
Yeah, so at Guelph, I'm in this residence called the East Village, and it's basically just a bunch of townhouses that surround a main tower in the middle. And so I'm in a townhouse. We have essentially three floors. The first floor is you walk in, there's a kitchen, living room, whatever. We put a TV there. And the second floor, there's two rooms where there's two girls who live. And then on the top floor where I am, I have another housemate, I guess you could say, who's there with me. We all just kind of have a standard single bedroom with bed, desk, two drawers for clothes, and then we both have washrooms and showers on the upper two floors.
Yeah, well, both of your residencies sound really fun. So for Finn, since you have three other roommates, how do you guys decide on who has what responsibilities, like cooking or cleaning?
All over the place. I wouldn't really say we have much of a schedule. People just kind of make their own food if they want to eat at our townhouse, or some people just go out every time.
Mhm.
And then in terms of cleaning, just kind of cleaning your own messes up. Otherwise, you'll probably get yelled at by someone else.
Okay,
Kind of how it works. No really set schedule.
fair enough. That's your system though. That's really cool. So for Emma, living at home is obviously a little bit different than living at residence for university. So how has your home life changed, and is there any new responsibilities and expectations from your parents, transitioning from high school to university?
I don't think there was any changes. I noticed an attitude shift when I decided to stay home. So definitely my responsibilities have remained the same, but we talk about when I'm moving out more, or like what I'm gonna like. My mom and I were at the thrift store the other day, and she's like, "Oh, you should buy this for when you move out," or like, "Oh, this is really cheap and nice. Get this." And I was like, "Okay." So now I just have a hoard of stuff for when I eventually move out. But I think residence was probably a better choice. Would have been a better choice.
Yeah.
I find living at home a bit isolating sometimes,
Yeah.
but I also didn't want to have to worry about COVID while living with someone or other people.
Right.
I didn't want to have the stress of potentially getting it during the year, and so I think I'm glad I made the decision to stay home, but I also feel like with being at home, you miss out on a couple of things.
Definitely. I've heard some horror stories about campus food at university. What has your experience been with it?
Sure. Yeah. So honestly, each residence has like their own cafeteria, which I really enjoy. And compared to a lot of Ontario universities, I feel like I can't really complain. The food is actually pretty good. And there's like always a lot of options, which I really like. Like they'll have like different meals that they serve every night, maybe like 5 different meals. And then there's like always like the grill where you can get like a chicken burger, like a piece of salmon or something. Like you can always get that, which I kind of like. And the breakfast is really good as well, I find. It's very like personalized, a lot of it. So it's like they'll have like food behind the counter, they'll have like snacks around the place, like pre-made sushi or like whatever. Which I really enjoy, especially if I'm like on the go and I don't want to like wait in a line to like order my food. But yeah, I found it really good. And there's also like restaurants around Montreal that are like chain restaurants that take our one card, like our student dollar. So like there's like a Subway that takes it like right across from my residence, like Thai Express, like some like actually nice restaurants, like an Italian restaurant, like ramen. It's actually really convenient. So I've really enjoyed that. And I actually really like the food at my cafeteria. So
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, you must be so lucky. Finn, what about you?
Yeah, so I would say our food's like pretty great here because we have like a food science program and they end up making most of the food. So it's like really good, but it's a little far from my residence. It's like, I don't know. Well, it's not actually that far, maybe a 10-minute walk, but we kind of have like a variety store in the middle of our townhouses. So I do end up eating a lot from there. But when I do manage to walk out to the cafeterias, they have really great food. Like we have steak nights on Sundays, you get lots of burgers, we get waffles and crepes in the mornings. So like I haven't tried any other university food, but I've heard that Guelph's is definitely a lot better than other places.
Oh my gosh, well, I'm so happy you guys are having a good experience with your cafeteria food. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into more personalized questions. So for Finn, I know you talked a little about your engineering experience so far. So what has the workload been like, and do you think high school actually prepared you for it?
Yeah, so the workload last semester was ridiculous and I was not prepared at all for it. Like I was definitely not used to having to be do like 8 hours of work a day at least. And well, I didn't end up actually doing that. So I was kind of overwhelmed, but it's definitely over the top and it was nothing compared to high school.
Right.
So I ended up switching all my courses away from engineering courses this semester to more commerce focused courses while still under engineering. So it's a lot more manageable now though.
So for Holly, what are some things you've learned from your experience of being a young adult now living in like a different province?
Yeah, it's definitely been a change for sure. I mean, on some levels, Montreal is very similar to Toronto, but it's like the only barrier I would say is the language.
Yeah.
Because Montreal is like a mostly French city. Although I am downtown, so there are like most people do speak English. They're usually bilingual, so it's not too bad. But that was like a huge adjustment for sure. Like just trying to like pick up on like a little bit of French to be able to like communicate with some people.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to learn more so I can like go visit other neighborhoods in Montreal where the primary language is French. So I'm hoping to do that. And I think just like it was just more of like an experience about becoming more independent and like being far from home and sort of like learning the ropes of like young adulthood and stuff like that. But I found the adjustment to be not that bad because everybody in my res and like everybody in first year essentially is going through the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I was only like 6 hours from home, but I have friends who are like from all over the world. So I was like, okay, like if you guys can do this, I can do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think your learning throughout like elementary and like high school of French has helped you out a bit?
No, absolutely not. That was like that's like a conversation that I have very often with people who went to public Ontario high schools is that like I literally cannot remember a single thing. The only thing we would learn was like passé composé and like we didn't actually learn any conversations and we took French for like 10 years and we have like nothing to show for it. So definitely not, but maybe if I took it through to like grade 12 I would have learned more, but I did take it to grade 10 and I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
So no, not really.
Well, that's good to know. So for Emma, are there any study habits that you picked up in university that you didn't have in high school?
I think the biggest thing that I picked up was, especially being online and everything being asynchronous, I kind of pushed myself to get all my most difficult courses or classes done at the beginning of the week because I knew that by like Thursday, Friday, I'd be too tired to want to do any of it. So I would always try and get my math and chem course done on like Monday and Tuesday. And then that way my easier courses for me I could finish at the end of the week. And I think that helped a lot because then it was just things that I didn't have to like put a lot of brain power into to finish. And that worked the best for me for managing my course load.
Right. Well, that's very smart of you. Okay. So now it's our game time. So we're going to be playing a game called Roommate or Not. So I'm going to say a statement about up to date to be your roommate. There's going to be one positive thing about them and one negative thing about them in the statement. And you're going to decide if you would want to be roommates with them by answering roommate or not. For this game, we're going to do it in the sequence of Emma answers first, then Holly answers first, then Finn answers first. You guys can elaborate on why you decided, to be roommates or not, or you can just say roommate or not, whatever you feel. Okay, first statement. So they always cook your meals for you, but they make you both dedicate an entire day once a week to clean the residence.
I would have to say roommate. Because then you're keeping your space clean. And
Yeah.
who wouldn't want to have someone who cooks for you?
Okay.
Yeah, same. I agree. Definitely roommate. Depends on their cooking skills, but like they sound like they're a good cook. So I'm gonna say yeah, it's definitely worth it to clean one day a week.
Yeah, not a chance. I would not clean for an entire day once a week. I kind of like cleaning like 15, 20 minutes here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Could not spend a whole day doing it. I don't really care how good a cook they are.
Right. Okay, fair enough. Okay, the next statement. They buy all the groceries, but they wake up at 5 a.m. every day to go to the gym and sometimes wake you up in the process.
I probably wouldn't be their roommate.
Okay.
I value my sleep too much for that.
It's definitely close for me, but I would also say no, because I think I would wake up very easily to their alarm every morning, and I think it would be like hard for me to go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, so I don't really wake up for much. And then I wouldn't have to pay for groceries. And if I do wake up, I'll just fall right back asleep. So no problem at all.
Okay. They are really good at helping you with your assignments, but once a week, they spend the entire day inviting their entire family to the residence, and you have to be with them all day.
That's tough. I probably roommate, like that wouldn't really bother me a lot, but like I just know the workload would get really tough, so I'd waver on that one. It depends on how nice of a person they are or how nice their family is.
Right.
Yeah, I would say no. I don't think I could do it, honestly. Like, I don't know, because for a full day is actually like a very long time to spend with like someone else's family, in my opinion. So I feel like I would, especially if I had to stay there, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say no. Well, actually maybe. It depends how much I like the person and their family. Like, if their family is like super chill and I would actually want to spend time with them, then yeah, that's no problem. But like even if it was just like I didn't mind spending time with them, I don't think I could do a whole day. Like that's definitely a lot
Yeah,
to hang out with people who you aren't really friends with.
for sure. Okay. They're really sweet, but they spend all of their time with their significant other, so you don't see them very often.
Roommate, that wouldn't really bother me as long as they're nice.
Yeah, same. Roommate. That sounds nice. Like a lot of time alone in the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine with me. Doesn't really matter too much.
Okay. And our last one is they are always willing to go to parties with you, but they snore abnormally loudly.
I would have to say no. I'm a light sleeper. I can't do that.
Yeah, I agree as well. For me, it's a no. I think it's like once I'm asleep, snoring doesn't bother me, but to fall asleep while someone's snoring is a really difficult task. So no.
No problem with me. I mean, I'll probably fall asleep still.
All right. Okay. I just want to say a big thank you for you all coming onto the episode today. It was so much fun learning about all of your experiences and similarity and differences with your different living conditions in your first year of university. We are going to end with one final question, which is what advice would you give someone going into their first year of university?
I would just say don't get behind on your schoolwork, as you will screw yourself. I did that my first semester and did not have great results at the end. So like you got to make sure you're on top of your work. Like it piles up really quick. Like if you miss a day or two, you got to be right back on top of it and spend a few days really just doing schoolwork, because it gets crazy if you don't.
Right.
I would just say to really like put yourself out there and meet as many new people as possible, That's definitely my number one piece of advice, because I think that you're going to meet a lot of new people who you can do schoolwork, or maybe you're in the same major, or people you want to room with in like future years, or like just people to like eat meals with, and like just kind of like build a community vibe, like especially in your residence. I think that's really important. So I would definitely just say like talk to as many people as you can and just be friendly.
I think being online specifically, and this is also good for not when eventually we go back fully in person, but finding ways to detach from your schoolwork at the end of the day has been super important and helpful for me, because obviously I'm doing work and sleeping all in the same room. So I've been going out for walks, or like finding fun activities to do with friends or family. And I also started doing yoga, just ways to detach from schoolwork so that I'm not overwhelmed, because the worst thing you can do is burn yourself out super early on in the semester, because then it's just not helpful for you and or your marks. I definitely think that if I burn myself out, my marks will definitely suffer. So
For sure. All right. Well, thank you all for such amazing advice, and thank you all so much for coming on to the episode. We've all learned so much. So yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
bye.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of UniLife. If you enjoyed it, make sure to rate it and subscribe, and stay tuned for future episodes. Bye!